I will commit that we'll make the next 40 minutes. How much time do I have? 45 minutes. I commit that we'll make the next 45 minutes worth your time. Yeah? So we can. Okay. Okay. So good afternoon. And can you increase the bass a little and the volume? Diagnose the fact whether DSM is real or not, which means it's a slang, which means it's a new age term. We don't have specific data or specific outcome. We don't have tangible information to say that, oh, here are 5 reasons with which we can elicit that this person is suffering from or dealing with. Or but I would like to talk about this idea. So what is this idea? The idea of imposter syndrome is, even after I get what I wanted, even after I have the evidence procedure of what I wanted, I still believe that either I didn't get what I wanted, or I don't deserve it, or I didn't do it, or something of that nature. So let's say I finished this whole session and you all came to me and said, Anil, the session was worth our time. Or you came and told me that, hey, Anil, you know what? I think something from this session did connect with me. But to everybody who's coming and telling me, I'm saying, hey, you know what? But I'm discounting every time you are giving me an evidence procedure. Every time you're giving me a feedback, I'm discounting that feedback because somehow within me, I feel, A, maybe I don't deserve it. B, I don't think I did it. C, if I did it, then probably anybody could do it. Something of that nature. Okay. So that idea that I need to do more because this what I did is not enough, or this what I did is not that what I wanted, even though it is that what I got it, even though it is that what I chased. But when I get what I chased, I still feel that it's not what I really wanted, so I need to do more. So I put more 2 hours every day. I take more mentorship. I read more books. I slog more. I talk to more people. And I spend the next 6 months doing exactly that to get the new thing. But when I get the new thing, I feel it's an empty dream. Uh, or there's more to it. This is good is no more good enough, you know? And then I feel, but hey, I have it in me. I must do more. I can do more. So I need more talk assignments. I need to reach out to more people and more people. This never ends. I get tired out. This is the idea of imposter syndrome. The idea clear? Now the question is why? The question is why? Evidence procedure feel that they don't deserve it, or they need to do more, or this is not meant for them, or uh, something of that nature. Why do they? This goes back to childhood. This goes back to a time when probably your parents said, that's not good enough. Or said, look at your brother. Or said, hey, you know what? With 98%, nobody gets admission. You got to get 99 goddamn percent. Because if you get 98, you may only be there. But you see, you need to be there because that's the family flag. Because everybody in our family has horns on the head, and your horn on the nose is not recognized. You can't be a unicorn. You have to be somebody else. So your individuality is shaded into, into an aspect of uniformity, into an aspect of commonality, into an aspect of not uniqueness. So as you grow up, you feel that, hey, that's not good enough because you've been told it's not good enough. Now, who are these parents? Well, I'm metaphorically using the word parents, but what I actually want to say is anybody who parents us. So, parents are our parents. Our locality is our parent. Our teachers are our parents. My society is my parent. My schools, my universities, my temple, my church, that's my parent. I'm not talking of parent as a parent. I'm talking of parent as a whole that parents me. It takes a village to parent me. I'm talking of the archetypal parent. So, where did I get this idea that I'm not good enough? Maybe in school, I was bullied. And I was bullied for 6 months, or this client was bullied for 6 months in school. This client took it with a face down, maybe cried, but quietly. Maybe spoke to somebody, but with a lot of shame and guilt that मेरे को छेड़ा है ना, मुझ में कुछ problem रहेगा. Because I was teased, maybe there's a problem with me. She was not teased. She was not teased. She was not teased. I was teased. That means there's a problem with me. That means I'm not good enough. So this client decides to go and tell the teacher that, Miss, you know what? These 3 people are teasing me. And the teacher asked, what are they teasing you? And this client must have said something. And the teacher laughed. The class laughed. It became confirmed proof that I'm not good enough. Because not only did she not get ragged, she didn't get ragged, she didn't get ragged, even my teacher is laughing at me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Well, this client grows up with this whole ideation of, I'm not good enough. I can't be, I can't belong, I can't behave, and I can't just have a lot of things. So I need to work hard. I need to work more. I need to do more. I need to, this moreness comes into picture. And why does this moreness comes into picture? Because I don't want to show you who I am. Because the last time I showed you who I am, I was bullied, I was ragged, I was teased, I was compared, I was punished, I was abused, I was abandoned. So now I will not show you who I am. So I'll show you my certificates. I'll show you my awards. I'll show you my car. I'll show you my house. I'll show you everything that doesn't let you see me. And with that thing that I'm showing you, you begin to appreciate. And when you begin to appreciate, I discount because I feel I need to make this fortress even bigger. Because what if you come inside and see me? Then you will see that I can be bullied. Then you will see how weak I am. Then you will see how insignificant I am. You will see how my self-esteem is cracked. You will see how my concept of self is so messed up. So I build one more certificate. So I take one more course. Then I go for a solo trip. I'm glad you got it. Then I build my social media because my traction becomes my identity. I live in the diabolic split. The me who's in front of you, the me who I show you on digital interface, which is more pompous, which is more stronger. And you see me there and you come and, you know what, Anil, I follow you. I'm like, yeah, tell me more about it. And then I tell you, I listen to that and then I'll tell you, hey, but you know what, come on, even you can, I'll discount it because I need to build more traction, more followers, more bots, more comments, more shares. Where does it stop? Nowhere. Because I want to build this fortress to my garden so tall that no snake should ever come in my garden. But this bully, if you are, and if this bully who will bully me is a part of the playground where I will play, I need not avoid that, but I need to confront that. I need to face that. I don't need to face the bully. I need to face that self-esteem in me that cracks every time I see the bully. It's not the bully I'm confronting. I'm confronting that self-esteem. I'm confronting that voice within me that I remember every time when I see the bully. Whose voice is that? It's the voice of my parent. Remember parent? Not parent, but the archetypal parent, the whole concept of parent. So I remember the teacher telling me, chal jao udhar baith. And sabke samne bola. So I'm feeling screwed, feeling messed up. Or my father told me something, my mother told me something, you are useless, you will never succeed. And I'm feeling I'm useless, I'll never succeed, why do so much? Or even if I do so much, I'm listening, I'll never succeed. So I'm listening to the fact that I will not succeed. So even when success comes to me, I have an inner voice that tells me I will never succeed. So my proof is here. even though I have a physical evidence procedure, I have a childhood conditioning. That means I live in the diabolic split. I live in this torn reality of a part in me, the child in me that still didn't get nurtured, the child in me that still is seeking validation, seeking love, seeking recognition, seeking a space to be seen, seeking something where this child can grow up, seeking an opportunity where parts of me can be seen, heard, touched, loved, parts of me that can still feel safe. So, because that growing up experience, not the whole, maybe a part, must be traumatic, must be unwanted, must be eventful, must be painful, must be abusive, must be abandoned, I'll grow up with that reality. So, I begin to abandon myself even before somebody else can abandon me. I begin to bully myself into saying that what I have is not good enough even before somebody else can bully me, because somebody did bully me. I begin to reject myself even before somebody else can reject me. Because outside rejection is hard, I begin to reject me as the whole. I begin to reject parts of me. I begin to reject parts of my body, parts of my achievement, parts of my relationship. What do we call this in psychology? We'll call it self-sabotage. Because I feel I'm not good enough, so what I have is not good enough. Are you getting this? How are we doing on time? 10 minutes more? Half an hour. Okay. Okay. So here's my question to you. Take a pause and find. Yeah, mic Lona, please. Or you have to yell. I like that. Shall I pass the mic? Nice. I think it's okay. It didn't develop overnight. Okay, it didn't develop overnight. So maybe there's a 7-year-old boy whose father told him, go sit there, don't come here. Okay, or the 9-year-old girl whom the uncle, the auntie, the brother, the sister, somebody said, you're useless, something of that nature. The first impact wasn't the impact, unless the impact was traumatic. And I'll talk of that as well. Okay, so the father discounting the child's presence was not that hard. But after 7 days, she goes to the father again, and the father tells her, wait, I'm on the phone, wait, wait, wait. Then again, after 10 days, she goes to the father to show her art or show her dance or show her friend or something. The father again discounts. Because this event happened repeatedly, she's beginning to feel that different things she can feel. She can feel that maybe the men in my life I look up to, maybe I'm not good enough for them. Maybe they are not good enough for me. Maybe I should punish all the men when I grow up. We don't know how individual will form their narratives and scripts and stories and values and beliefs and hierarchies and rules and promises and dividends. We don't know that. But each one on the journey of life will have a new script. But it didn't happen overnight, unless it happened overnight. And what do I mean by unless it happened overnight? Like a girl is walking on the road and somebody throws acid on her. Like this guy is standing at the bus stop and he's waiting for a bus at 1 a.m. at night. The bus comes a little late, but there were 6 of them who came and thrashed him black and blue. When a particular impact is beyond the threshold of what one can perceive and experience in the body and mind, that gets classified as trauma. And not only does it get classified as trauma, it brings in behavioral impedance, which stays for so long. We call it post-traumatic stress disorders. Not only that, certain behaviors that was available and accessible to us growing up, and which is easy for everybody else, is withdrawn from this particular client because the client feels vulnerable, scared, and drifted apart from their body to even perform something like this. So there are 2 types of events. One which can be a series of events. Second can be a one-time traumatic event. And well, there's a third type of event that can happen. A dark traumatic event that can happen for a series of time. Like the Holocaust, the Viktor Frankl scene. Like maybe the girl who was inappropriately touched by one of her family members for 6 years. It's a dark, unfortunate event, and she thought I couldn't tell this to anyone. Okay, well, we are going to the extreme, more than more than imposter syndrome over here. Okay, but do you get imposter is at a much lighter note where something not so dark happened, but something did happen. Maybe every day my tiffin box is eaten by somebody else and every day I'm hungry. And I can't fight that battle for me. I can't fight for my food. We're talking of something of that nature. Like every day, my lace in school was tied on the desk, and I don't know who is doing it, and practically thrice a week, I'm falling down. I'm talking of these everyday bullies that I live with. And then I live with these bullies in my office, in my college. Then I live with these bullies in my family, in my society. So I have a lot of these bullies, and I begin to feel that I am not good enough. Yeah. How we can handle that? I want to come to that. But before that, there was one more question there, right? There were two people who raised the hand. Okay, no problem. Yeah. Go on. Hmm. Mm, mm. I want to respond to that, and this is my closing statement. So, I agree with what she's saying, but I want to, yeah, what she's saying is it's not that it gets developed only in the childhood, it can even be in the adulthood where I presented a presentation and my upline, my team leader says, that's stupid, you can do better than this. Okay, I want to respond to that. Well, the syndrome does not develop at childhood, the impact happens in childhood. I live the many years from childhood, probably till 20, probably till 25, finding evidence to those many events which resonates with that few events in my childhood. And I get solid confirmatory proof that I'm not good enough, or I'm bullied, or I can be bullied, and all of that. Now, with these 10 years and 15 years of data that I have, that I can be bullied. See, I was bullied in the train, I was bullied in the school, I have this whole narrative and picture. Instead of looking at those 200 events of my life which I was not bullied, I have these 15 events of my life where I was bullied. They become my map of trajectory, they become my lord of reference, they become my anchors for life. Then probably after 20 and 25, I realize that hey, I can't let myself be seen, because the last time I showed my true self, the last time I appeared truly and honestly to my friends, I was bullied, teased, dragged. So I need to show who I am. Tu janta nahi main kaun hu. I need to show you who I am. And in the process of showing you who I am, I forget who I am. So whatever I begin to be, I know that's not me. So I begin to discount that in the process of also discounting me. So I work hard to get that, which I discount. And the one who's working hard to get is also discounted. Does that make sense? And the second response to what you said is, she said that this is not just engraved in the childhood, but even in the adult age, when I go to office and somebody gives me a presentation, I do it and they say I'm not good enough, so I go back. Well, what that manager tells you that this can be done better, and if you believe that, well, factually it can be done better, who knows? But if you believe that you are not better, see, if you take the adjective and put it to you, yeah, maybe they're saying that this is not good enough, and what you're taking is I'm not good enough. If yes, if you transfer the adjective to you, then the reason you're doing it is because you already have an evidence procedure, you're living the memory of the loop again. So you just victim of your self-proclaimed painful story. Okay, because you have an event, you had a memory, and somebody triggered the same story, you took the same adjective, and you must have said, देखा, ऐसे ही होता है मेरे साथ, मैं बोला था ना, he doesn't like me, देखा तू देखा ना, and we live that story again.
But Anil, can you say that putting a mask is a result of imposter syndrome? Because we put a mask sometimes.
We put a mask due to a lot of reasons. Yeah. But the mask is not imposter syndrome. The mask is not good enough is the imposter syndrome. Hold on. I want to respond to that. I want to respond to that. From all aspects, we can respond. From the aspect of psych, from the aspect of uh, theology or mythology or philosophy or poetry. I would like to respond to that because that's how I grow in my content also. But I want to say this. We all wear masks. That is true. I'm wearing a mask right now. This is not how I will talk to my wife, my child, my friend. No, right? I'm wearing a mask. But I need to know When I leave this room, I need to remove my mask and my costume and leave it over here because this stage doesn't extend beyond this point. When I have the dexterity, the flexibility, the choice points that I can remove the mask here, well, it's a different reality. But sometimes I take the mask with me. We do most of the times. Why do we take the mask with us? Because an impact happened, because I feel I'm not good enough. You should not see me, so I'll show you the mask. Imposter syndrome is where I feel this mask is not good enough. But I can have a better mask. So I begin to work more hard for a better mask. थक जाता हूं मैं उसमें. And people with me, I'm letting them manipulate me even more. Isn't that life? It's choice. Life is a series of choices we make. We call the consequences as life. No. We need to rewind back a little and understand that life is not the consequences we are enjoying. Life is the choice we make in those consequences that were a part of the choices I made some time ago. Sometimes some realities that I enjoy or live or participate in is not a part of my choice point. It's like the acid that was thrown or the tsunami that rose. It was not a part of my choice point. I will suffer in the consequence, but how much to suffer and when to start the repair work is my choice. Because what happened to me is not my fault, but to heal from it is my responsibility. The crow will shit on me. I will have to wipe not the crow's ass, but my shirt. I cannot.
What's in the fight?
What happened to me is not my responsibility, but to heal from it is my responsibility. And when I understand that I am my hurt, I am my pain, I am what happened to me, I am my personal history of being bullied, I am those stories that happened to me, I am the Medusa that was destroyed by Poseidon, I am the church that was destroyed by the tsunami wave, I am. It's a part of my personal history. But do I want that to repeat? Or do I want to change that trajectory? Am I enjoying the pain that happened? Am I getting sympathy and love because of the pain of poor fellow? Am I getting that? So the step to change, the first step to change, the first...
I'm not starting, I'm just
I want you to listen this point. This is a response to your question, ma'am. Okay. The first step to change is to recognize that there is a problem. That's the first step to change. That, हाँ, मेरा जूता फटा हुआ है. It's the first step to change. Acknowledgement. I need to acknowledge. Then I need to bring my awareness to it. Then I need to bring my attention to it. And then I need to know, can I repair it? Or I go to a professional to repair it. I may go to a therapist, a coach, a counselor, a friend, I don't know, a bar, I don't know. You decide. Okay? You make those choices. Okay, whatever works at the end of the day. Hey, or a long binging series. I don't know. You may get some wisdom in that part and you'll say, yes. That moment of yes, that moment of aha is yours. And that should not be restricted only to a therapy room. Well, that could be, but should not only be. Because the responsibility to heal is yours. And when you begin to accept that, I think I'm tired, that's a first step. I think I'm doing too much. That's a first step. I think I'm holding too much. I think I'm not even seen after working so much. I need to put a stop somewhere. I want you to know that you are allowed to take a break. I want you to know that you're allowed to take space. But that begins with knowing that you are tired, right? Or you don't have space, right? And you don't want to be defined by this mask anymore. And you want to also begin to acknowledge that these are my certificates and I won it. And these are mine. Yes, they are mine. I'm proud of it. And not to feel the concept of dissociating or discounting them. Yeah, let's take some more questions. Yes. Time.
So there are some people who say fake it till you make it.
Ah.
So I'm not. I mean, when I speak about imposter syndrome to others, and they say that's all everybody faces it. You just have to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So what do you?
My response to that?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it works. Depends where you're faking it. B, what you're faking. C, are you okay faking it? D, mimicry is the first step to championship. Mimicry is the first step to championship. So I believe faking it till you make it is a good step in this definition, in this context. But everything can be posed in any context. Well, how many of you started learning to drive a car? Okay, how many of you all started to swim? And you know, the first thing that you do, even before you master, is you begin to picture that you're a swimmer. You begin to picture that you have this guitar. You begin to mimic it. You're not there. You've not even started. But you begin to this. Mimicry is the first step to championship. There's nothing wrong to mimicry. But to know that it's mimicry and to not identify with the artist, then you're the fraud. Because you're anyhow playing too many roles. The mimicry artist is you, the mimic is you, the fraud is you, the one who decides who should be the artist and where is you. So you have choices. But learning to disconnect is the best choice that you can have.
And this is about I'll take you all these things. Like the ownership of deciding, I have to wipe the shit out of my shirt is mine. Okay, let's say client A taken the decision to clean up their problem, right? They know the problem, they've been working on this solution, but then these are childhood experiences that have this thing, and we also say the childhood experience shape some of your behaviors, some of you as a person. So when we are adults and when we decide, hey, this is causing me trouble, and I've started taking action, where does it stop? Because at some point of time it starts feeling also like, hey, even after fixing all of this, there seems to be so much problems with me than anything getting fixed, right? Where do you figure out that, hey, these are some of my behaviors that I should be okay with?
Yeah.
Because the world can always say you're not. I mean, as girls, we are constantly told you have to be a certain way. You haven't reached it.
Even as guys, we've been told.
Yes. Let's just say this is like. So how do we?
We were told to be the doctors and engineers. Girls were told marry one. I'm wrong, right? We'll delete this record. Yeah. If I'm running marathon, if I'm running a marathon, I need to know that this year I will run 26 kilometers. This year I will not run 100 kilometers. So I need to know, these are yardsticks that I will put in my own perspective. These are yardsticks that I can take into comparative understanding by saying that, hey, I think Aarti is my friend or Priya is my friend. Let me talk to her and ask her, how much of this I think I should do? And she'll say, hey, Anil, you're not Superman. So, 26 is good enough. So I'll take 6 months to practice 26. To know that this is me. And this is my benchmark. And this is how much I can take this journey. Yes. Go ahead.
It's very difficult to deal with the situation of being a woman. You are again forced to take more responsibilities. So how to deal with it is.
Here's my response to that. And I want you to remember this and remember this always, whether you're a guy or a girl or whatever you feel you are. Here's my best response to this. A good relationship is one where you can talk conflicting ideas with ease. If you feel threatened and unsafe in communicating difficult, conflicting ideas with ease, then you need to question those relationships. As children, maybe we didn't have a choice to question those relationships because our whole aim is to survive psychologically and physiologically in that field. So we may take those narratives and stories which our parents are giving us, and we will take that and we'll grow with this. But today, when I'm 30, 40, and 50, I have a choice. Why am I still repeating my childhood behaviors? Am I dependent on them? Do I need them? Unless I need them. Unless I have a physiological impedance and I can't do it myself, so I need them. Unless I have a cognitive impedance and I can't do things on myself, I need them. Unless I have a neurological impedance, a biological impedance, I need them to support me physically. If not, I have a choice point to make. And that's what a relationship is about. That's what a close relationship is about. And if you don't feel seen and heard, and if you don't feel the space and ease in that relationship, you need to step back a little and you need to say, hey, I'm going to take care of myself. before I step back in the space. And that's a choice. No, it's not about retro. See, that's a revolt. A good relationship is where you have effective communication to communicate that message so clearly that it's not conflicting. It's easy to walk out and saying that I'm going to take care of myself. See, that's not an ecology. See, that's not helping the relationship grow. Well, it's to communicate that, hey, look, I need to take care of myself, and I'm stepping out to take care of myself, and I will take care of myself, and I'm entitled to take care of myself, and it's my choice to take care of myself, and I will.
I have a question. How do someone convince themselves that they are tired? Many times, the thing you said that when your parents, any parent for that matter, 98% is not good enough, try again. That's considered an encouragement from the parent side rather than thinking that what effect it will have on the kid. Even in many companies, you have the rating system, right? So we have seen that you have met expectation, exceeded expectation, and something called greatly exceeded expectation.
Yeah.
Something called exceeded expectation itself is that they are overperforming on their role. What is this greatly exceeded expectation? So this is exactly what you just talked about.
Yeah.
It's considered as an
The
encouragement.
choice is which race do you want to run and how far you want to go. That's a choice.
There's a lot of question which comes inside your mind when someone tells you that you can do better. So before
And the
thinking
question
or-
to ask when someone says that to you is, am I not better where I am? Do I need to take that as an encouragement? Do I doubt where I am is not better? Do I need to measure my life through that yardstick? Do I need to run that race? See, before participating, have that conversation with one of those many holograms that you have. Yeah, that's a choice again.
yeah.
Because I felt I'm not good enough, I want to continue the journey of my life by living their life. I want to be identified not as an individual, because being an individual was too hard, so I want to be identified as my child's success story. So I put that in front of you. And then everybody says, देखा ये राहुल का डैडी है. और राहुल पता है कौन है? राहुल यहाँ का चेस चैंपियन है. ये सविता का डैडी है. पता है सविता कौन है? वो टिकटॉक पे बहुत बड़ा इन्फ्लुएंसर है. कितना ऐड करती है पता है वो? एक्सेट्रा. हाँ जी. पीछे से या. थोड़ा सा जोर से.
So you talked about different ways that we could use to heal from imposter syndrome. So I was talking to a friend and he said that the way that he's channelizing it is using it as a strength. So it enables me to do more work than everybody and I'm always ahead of the game. You know, like it's sort of leveraging it as a strength. So do you see this as healthy or like an
I'm not here to comment on that because I respect choice points. And yes, that is healthy if he feels so. You know, we all have different thresholds, and I'm pro-choice. And if people have made that choice for themselves, I don't want to be a serpent in their garden. Yeah, the fact is that people choose, and the fact is that I'm okay with their choices. My question is, am I not okay with their choices? Do I want to fix them? Do I want to prove their choices wrong? Then the question is, what's wrong with me? You know, what's taking away my okayness in the field and context of the choices that people make? Why am I not okay with their choices? Am I seeing in them what I could become, which I can't chase, that I want to put them down? Am I seeing in them what I wanted to do, but my uncle told me I can never dance? Am I seeing in them parts of me that I have discounted?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we talked about doing better and not, having to burn out ourselves. But I have a different perspective on this. That what if somebody feels like, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. I've had enough of this. So I'm not going to improve myself and whatever. But at the same time, I'm also doing my job. There will be some sort of achievements in my life and people will compliment me on that. But I know for a fact I've given up and I'm not gonna, take that acknowledgement that I didn't even try to do this, so I don't deserve this praise. So it's like a very conflicting.
Well, I don't think it's conflicting. It's conflicting because what you're saying is I'm taking somebody's shirt, wearing it, and saying, I think this is tight. It's somebody's life, somebody's choice. And I have no right to comment on it unless they come to me in conversation and unless I'm a therapist, a counselor, a coach. It's their shirt. They're free to wear it. What is preventing me from letting them belong in my world with the choices they make?
But is that imposter syndrome to
There is no measurement. That's what I started with. I cannot diagnose this. It's not a part on the diagnostic statistic manual. I cannot diagnose this. So is it? I don't know. I'm talking of a concept which is not measurable, not tangible, and not empirical. And now you're asking me, can I measure it?
I have a question.
I'll come to you. How much time?
I have a question.
5 minutes.
Her question we'll take after the time, right?
Yeah, so how do we navigate with people who are constantly looking for validation at workplace or otherwise? Sometimes I understand that is the way that person is working, but how to navigate
If
it?
I want to manipulate that person and get more done from that person, I will validate.
I mean, but it's like,
But if I want good for that person,
yeah.
and if I don't want him to be a part of my quarterly matrix, then I will ask him, do you want my validation and is that important to you?
And what if that person gets offended by that?
That's their problem. Believe that people have within them the resources to deal with life. Believe that the person you're dealing with is a competent human being and it's not your journey and job to nurture and mother them. Believe that people are competent to deal with their life. And believe that you have a choice to say no.
but shouldn't we be more sensitive?
Hold on. Exactly. You should be sensitive by asking that person. What I'm hearing is you want me to validate that. Do you want me to validate that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You asked a question, right? Oh wait, second, somebody else.
So my question is coming from a perspective of
sorry.
a parent. So I carry imposter syndrome with me.
That's a
and then
choice.
It is a
I
choice.
choose to, is it correct
Yes,
the sentence?
I choose to carry the imposter syndrome. For me, it's right to be corrected whenever possible.
Yeah.
Right? But then I have a busy life, and my husband has a busy life, and we have 2 children. When they come to me, how am I sure that I am not importing, like I am traumatizing them with those series of events that you talked about? Hey, I'm busy or whatever. I try to give them the time, but then how do I be very conscious to
Ask
not
them,
impart it?
do they feel seen in your world? Do they feel safe in your world? Do they feel hugged enough in your world? Do they feel heard in your world? And do they feel that safety?
Yeah.
Can they play in your world? Do they feel yelled at? Ask them. You know, in corporates, we have something called as performance review. That's not just to be asked between couples. Anji.
I think because of this imposter syndrome and because we have been compared throughout our life, mostly in the childhood, so it's very difficult sometimes to celebrate success and instead we see that as a threat to us and we need to, we then start contemplating.
Who is this we?
I.
Ah.
I start contemplating that, okay, now that's the threshold which even I need to meet so that, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with
As long as you are watching, as long as I'm watching this performance, what I'm doing from here, I will not get to see the whole picture. I need to step out and watch what I'm doing from there. I need to see myself from this point of the camera. As long as I don't see what I'm doing from multiple positions, I do not get complete feedback or the review point. What you're saying is right from one point of view. I'd like for you to see if you are talking to your younger sister or your friend, and if they had to say this, what would you respond to that? And do you have those choices in your life to what you respond to people? And is it okay for you to execute those choices which you give as advices? How much time? 3 minutes. One question. Hanji.
You mentioned about effective communication, right? And informing someone, like at the age of 30, no one can hold you hostage and you can inform the person. But then
Unless they can hold you hostage.
unless they can have a hostage. But then how do you convey appropriately, or how do you deal with feelings of like love, guilt, and anger at the same time?
Yeah, you don't feel it at the same time. It all comes and goes in waves.
No, but I'm saying like, yeah, right. But in that moment, supposing, of course, like towards a parent, you love the person because they are your parent. You know that they really love you, and then you obviously have anger towards certain instances. But at the same time, after you vented out everything, there is guilt because you know that they are your primary caregiver.
Good.
Or whatever. So then how do you deal with it?
I like this question. It's a good question. It's a very practical question. It's like this, the father got the child's mark list and the father is telling the child, what faltu performance you made. I hate you for this. You have put us down. बाप ने बच्चे को left, right, center ले लिया. ठीक है? And completely ransacked this child's self-esteem. Now then after 20 minutes, the father is going to the child again and saying, but you know what I wanted to say? I wanted to say that you have more competence, more potential, more this, more. But right, your dad loves you and, all of that, blah, blah, blah. You see the same cycle.
Yeah, yes.
Okay? The problem that we are dealing with is we are not able to separate the behavior from the person. We need to separate the behavior from the person. Not that you are bad, your marks are bad. I love you, but I hate this. I love you, I hate this. This is bad, you are good. I need to separate the behavior from the person. If I successfully separate the behavior from the person, I can continue to hate and love in the same time. I hate this store, the infrastructure, but I love the clothes. I hate everything about the store, but I come here because I love the washroom that they provide for free. We can have we are allowed to do that. Yeah, I want to say thank you to all of you. I'm grateful. I'm going to take that one question from her, but I want to say thank you for showing up in such large numbers. I'm grateful. It's always the speaker's ego and confidence to have numbers. So thank you. Hang on.
You are having that one, it's too sunny, that's the reason so many people are.
So it's not my ego alone. I'm choosing to delete that conversation. So thank you for uplifting my ego and self-esteem. Femininity is empathetic, but there's also masculine empathy. We need to learn both. Empathy has two sides, femininity and masculinity. Shiv and Shakti. I can do it in two ways. Once I've realized that I got such a big audience and I gave such a screwed up talk, and so many audience, but this talk was horrible, right? I go back, I have two choices, never to teach again, or go back and learn how to teach, update my content and come back and show again. After awareness, you have further choices. At that moment, you got to face reality. Running away from reality will create the effort of creating more. I need to come up and say, hey, I messed up, I'm sorry. But I think I didn't. Thank you, everybody.